Hi, I'm Cynthia Solis from McAllen, Texas. Uh, to be a brand ambassador for Backdoor Modern Vintage means to represent the store, the business, and Yvette with a lot of dignity and respect, and to inspire women and people in the fashion industry, people who love to shop for vintage and authentic vintage like no other. Yvette has a one-of-a-kind store, very unique. She has the hub of vintage here in South Texas. And so for me, it's an honor to represent all the vintage labels and all the decades of vintage that Yvette has in her boutique or store. And it's been such a joy for me this last year and a half.
As a model, can I call you a model, or what do you prefer to be titled when someone asks you, oh, what do you do?
Model's fine, because basically that's what I do. I'm in front of the camera and I am representing Yvette's business with her clothing. And she's also a stylist, and she is like the best stylist. She has this fun energy. She's so cool. She makes me laugh. She's like a big sister, or like my sister that I wish I had. I have a sister, but I wish like sometimes I had another sister who could style me every day and make me feel amazing and make me feel so confident. Like I've come out of my shell a lot. And so if you look back on my Instagram, when I first started, it's a journey, like how I've progressed and improved with my posing and my angles of the body. And like Yvette says, it's geometry. You know, your shoulders, your placement of your body, your hips, and how you stand, and angles of your face. And then to make the clothes look amazing, that's my job. Otherwise, how would people want to come to this store and want to shop and look for something if they're going to a party or an event, or even out on a first date? And if you want to look amazing, Yvette's the stylist. I call her my super stylist.
Super stylist.
Yeah.
So what about Backdoor Modern Vintage speaks to you? What drew you to Yvette and her store?
Oh, I didn't know about her store or Yvette. Actually, there's a backstory to all that. I believe it was about 3 years ago or 4 years ago at a fashion show. Actually, it was in McAllen at the Radisson Hotel. And I happened to be there modeling for Shop 112, which is also a local store boutique in McAllen, North McAllen. And I had already been modeling with Debbie Lou Models, which is the modeling academy that I started with before I met Yvette. And so after the fashion show that summer day, I saw Yvette rolling a rack of really cool clothes, and she looked at me and smiled, and she waved, and she goes, "You need to come to my store. I'll style you all up." I said, "That'd be great." And
yes, I remember I was like, actually, like, when I first saw Cynthia modeling, I'm like, oh my God, I love her. She has to be working for me, and I want her in my clothes immediately. And actually, it's a funny story because it actually took, since we met, I was like 2 years waiting to meet her. And I was like, you know, she was like, I wanted her to come and model for my store. Like, I wanted her to be the first brand ambassador. I mean, I work with a lot of models constantly, you know, young women, old women, and everything. But I just saw something in Cynthia that pulled me and gravitated me to her, because she is like the epitome of vintage. She's got that vintage look. And a lot of my customers, after even seeing her model for me, you know, were like, yeah, Yvette, I want to come and model. I see Cynthia, you know. And then when I'd have her here at the shop, like, with young girls. They were like, "Oh my God, there's that girl, Cynthia, the one from your website." I mean, she was like a notorious from the beginning, and so I really think that she could relate with most of my clients, and just loved her look. I loved her energy. I loved her attitude. I loved her, she just had that like passion for modeling. And I think that's what drew me to her. But I had to wait almost 2 or 3 years to get her to come over here and work with me. But now it's like nonstop. So we're going on almost a year together, and and she's really, really grown and learned a lot. I mean, she's just amazing.
And I wanted to ask you, what does your family say about you going into modeling and pursuing something like this?
Well, they never thought I would do something like that. Even though, since I was very young, I've always liked shoes and purses and jewelry and fashion. I mean, fashion magazines. I mean, I subscribed to 17 magazine as far back as like when I was in 7th grade. And then Vogue and Glamour and stuff like that.
What were some of your inspirations growing up when you were seeing these magazines and these women, and these clothes? Is there anything that you remember specifically, like seeing and then you being like, I want to do that, or that is so cool?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would look at the magazines and be like, wow, I like how they're dressed. It looks like a lot of fun to be, in front of the camera, modeling clothing for whatever brand, whatever label. And so that interested me. And also, just if you follow models as they get more famous or they have more notoriety, their status goes up. And so, like, say, for example, somebody like Cindy Crawford or Paulina Borskova, or even, here's another one. Oh, what's her name? Victoria's Secret model. Oh, Giselle Bundchen. I mean, they all started somewhere, and then they just kept working really, really hard. The dedication, they don't let anything stop them. And so, like, I mean, that's just somebody like famous people, but just, me down here in the Valley, for me, it's something I enjoy. And so if I tell my family I'm enjoying it and I'm happy and I'm having a great time and I'm learning something, they're happy for me too. Because as I see it, to be alive, to live is to evolve. And we don't stop evolving until we stop living. So if I can grow more in this venue or of modeling or representing Yvette as her brand ambassador model, then I'm all for it. Because if I can inspire even just one person to get that self-confidence, then I've done my job.
And why do you think self-confidence is important?
Well, self-confidence is important because it's how you carry yourself and how you reflect on how people portray you. Like a first impression, for example. First impressions are pretty interesting because if someone sees you down the street and they love what you're wearing, they're going to remember that because they liked what you were wearing. They like those red shoes, or they like that jacket, or the whole outfit. And if they ask me, where'd you get that? Backdoor Modern Vintage. Yvette Aviles, she's my super stylist. Or they say, what's your handle at Instagram? And you can follow Yvette, you can follow me,
And has that ever happened to you where someone comes up to you and comments on what you're wearing?
Yes.
And what did they say? Or do you remember
that
encounter?
Actually, it was in a restaurant. One time I was in a restaurant. It was last year. And this girl said, you're that girl from Instagram with that boutique, the vintage clothes. And then I said, yes, I'm Cynthia. Nice to meet you. What's your name? And I said, well, the boutique is Backdoor Modern Vintage, and it's located in Weslaco. Make an appointment with Yvette, and she'll style you up really cool. You'll have a great time.
Wow.
And then the girl says, "Well, I really like how you dress. I like your pictures, and I like all of your photo shoots, and you're so cool." I said, "Well, thank you."
So how many fashion shows have you done?
I lost count.
Is it more than 50 or less than 50?
Close to 50.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
And I believe you started 2 years ago. When was it?
I started in September of 2018.
So what made you just be like, you know what, I'm going to do this?
Well, I never thought I was going to do any modeling or let alone be here in front of you talking about all this. But back about 2016 or 17, I was at a party and Debbie Chavez was there. And so she is she's a pageant director and she recruits young women to be in her pageants. And then I knew her as that, but then I found out that she also has a modeling academy in McAllen, which I did not even know that. And so, I would see her and talk to her. And basically I got to know all her pageant friends and women in pageant industry. And then of course, the girls that hold the titles for Miss South Texas, Miss Tropics of Texas, Miss Rio Grande City, Miss McAllen, Miss Mission, etc. And so they became my friends. And then about a year after that had happened, Debbie asked me, "Cynthia, why don't you come model for me?" I said, "Me be a model? Why? Why? Because you'll have so much fun. I can tell you have that energy. You have that, what did she say? You have that
Pizzazz.
something." Well, she said, "No, she goes, there's something about you that I think you're going to click."
It's the eyes.
Well,
she
she had me, she says, "Walk for me, turn around." And then she says, "Okay, you need to come to class. I'll sign you up and you'll start." And I said, and I thought about it for like maybe 3 or 4 months. And so then finally I saw her again. I said, "Debbie, okay, I'll start coming to modeling." And she gave me this big old hug and she smiled. She goes, "Yay, you're going to be a Debbie Lou model." I said, "Okay." And I was really, really nervous. And then after Labor Day weekend that year, in 2018, I began modeling.
And what happened with the students that were there? Were they welcoming, or what was that experience like?
Oh, well, the girls in the studio were welcoming, but everybody there's this etiquette that we have to, I guess,
Follow?
yeah, follow. And so there's a lot of things that we learn in 15 weeks. The whole process of modeling at Debbie's Modeling Academy is a 15-week process. And her classes are on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And so I went every Tuesday and Saturday for 7 weeks and I finished all my 15 classes.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't want to drag it out because I really, really liked it and I wanted to finish. And then shortly thereafter, I substituted for her. Whenever the girl couldn't make it,
Right.
I would teach classes.
So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing now with Debbie, that you're like heading the classes and you're a great inspiration and you're empowering the young models at the studio now as a teacher. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, if Debbie has to leave early or she can't make it, I'll open up the studio and I let the students come in and we all sit down and everybody's very quiet and very respectful because then, like I said a few minutes back.
You demand respect. Damn it.
Yes.
No, we have.
Well, she knows her job. She knows she's good at what she's at her craft.
Well, we are taught etiquette and also life skills, like how to sit for a job interview, how to speak, how to make an entrance without really saying a word. People just look at you. There's just all these little things, the right body language, the wrong body language, and also dining etiquette. And so all these things and more I've learned, and then I teach these girls, all ages, even adults too. And like I said, they're life skills. And everywhere we go, when I go to a fitting for a fashion show at a boutique, they always say, "Are you a Debbie Lou model?" I said, "Yeah." Because, "Oh, we can tell. All the girls, there's something about a Debbie Lou model that sets them apart from other models
What
in
is that?
Cali." It has to do with being respectful, being polite, and hanging up your clothes in the dressing rooms and not leaving them on the floor, which is very disrespectful. That is a huge no-no.
Is that when they said, "Are you a Debbie Lou model?" when you did that, or what?
That was one of them.
Or what was it that they were like, "Are you one of them?"
I guess it's just how I carry myself, the posture, and I guess we're taught also how to be confident, but not in a bad way where it's like when you're like snooty or arrogant. It's more just confident, like
Like when you're with people,
Mhm.
it's different being confident with people than being confident with yourself.
well,
Is that what you mean?
well, around people, there's an image that I want to have like my reputation to be good and my image good, and also like if I'm with in the public, I'm representing to people, well, aside from myself, I'm representing Yvette, Backdoor Modern Vintage, and then Debbie Lou Models. And because now that I'm on social media, I think it's important to always have that high standard, so that because it takes in my opinion, I think it takes a lifetime to have a good reputation and to build it, but it just takes a few seconds to throw it
Yeah.
away.
I
And-
agree. That's a very good point, Cynthia.
Yes, and especially with social media, it's so easy to lose sight of your self-respect, and that's one thing that I'm kind of I hold that really close to my heart, being respected, but also having respect for myself and for others. And so that's what Debbie really instills in us girls when we go out. She's, "Don't ever leave the clothes on the floor. If I find out you're not going to be in any fashion shows, I'm going to put you on the blacklist."
Really?
Yeah. So, and I mean, she's very polite when she says it, but she means it. So everybody, like when you go into the modeling class, everybody's like just sitting real straight and quiet. Nobody's on their phones ever.
Cynthia, so tell us how you feel empowered and how you feel when you're modeling, when you look at that picture and you say, "Wow, that's me, I did that." How do you feel? Let us know a little bit about the insight about how modeling makes you feel. Like, what does it do for you? What do you gain from it as far as
Okay.
a emotional standpoint?
I see. Well, every photo shoot's different. And so, based off of what I'm feeling that day or what I'm going to wear, because I really love everything that I wear on my photo shoots. It just feels like I'm in this character. Like I get into a little character, or I feel like a space person, or I feel like this colorful character from, I don't know, some imaginary, I don't know, anime show or something. But for the most part, I feel empowered. I feel like, well, I definitely feel really empowered because, being in front of the camera and just being in the moment, I just block out all the noise of the world, and I'm just so like in the moment that it's like an escape, but a really good one, And then the photographers that Yvette has me model for, or anyone that calls me up, it's like, it's really fun because I'm learning all the time. And so, like I said, to live is to evolve, and we never stop learning. It's so much fun. I really like it a lot.
Have you ever acted before? Because a lot of what you're saying about feeling like a certain character when
Mhm.
you're wearing a certain outfit, I feel like that's kind of like goes hand in hand with playing a character or acting.
Right.
Have you ever done something like that?
No,
Are you looking to do anything like that?
I haven't thought about it, actually. I'm just really kind of focused on modeling and doing runway shows or photo shoots, coming to here for Yvette to be styled for an event. And also, there's going to be a fashion show tomorrow
Let's mention the fashion show.
at
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Mercedes-Benz, everybody. It's
In
like
San
going to be
Juan.
the show of the year. You don't miss it.
Yes.
Well, by the time I post this, it might have already
It
passed.
doesn't matter. You're still going to go. You better go. Everybody from the past, go to the show in your future.
But for if people want to know when your next fashion show is for either yourself or Yvette as you,
Yeah.
is there a certain place where people can go to find out when?
Oh, they can come to my Instagram and
Which
look at
one?
my Insta stories, or Debbie Chavez. It's Debbie Lou Modeling Academy, or Backdoor Modern Vintage -13. And
Well, I'll put it. I'll post it.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of interesting things with the modeling agencies, and then that's another how I found and discovered Cynthia was through doing a show. But yes, again, the bottom line is that modeling empowers you. It makes you search into yourself, and it makes you be something like a character in a movie that you want to portray. And it's just like you're living out your innermost fantasies. But at the same time, you're getting empowered. You're empowering others. And modeling is just so awesome and amazing that you can do it at any age.
No, that's right. Any age. What is something that you mentioned that modeling also teaches you life lessons? What are some of those life lessons that have been around or you've noticed a lot?
from in modeling, or
You mentioned that modeling helps you with life
yes, like life skills.
life skills.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of those life skills?
Well, one of the most important ones is how I introduce myself to people that I don't know. And so with a good firm handshake, eye contact, a smile, that's important when, especially at these events, and there's a lot of people. And so they'll come up to me and say hi, or I like what you're wearing. And then I'll introduce myself and we just start a conversation, or they'll say, oh yeah, I follow you on Instagram, and oh yeah, I've been to your store, and oh, by the way, I liked what you were wearing, or something like that. But yes, the life skills are important because of the like I said, the eye contact, firm handshake, a smile, and being polite, or saying thank you. That goes a long way.
And when did you meet Yvette exactly? It was during one of the Redison
Yes,
fashion shows. What was going on? How did it come to be?
Okay, well, the fashion show was ending, and everybody was taking out the clothes and back to their vehicles, and I was leaving with my things, and so I said bye to my friends, and I saw Yvette, and she turned and smiled at me, and she was rolling the cart with all the rack of clothes, and she had this really pretty smile, and I thought she was so pretty and so cute, and like, she goes, you should come model for me. I'll style you, and come to my store, and you'll have a lot of fun. She was so sweet, and then I never saw her again.
After 2 years or 3 years?
Almost 3 years, yes, because pandemic hit and the world shut down. So there you go.
So what did you do during the pandemic? Was there any? What was that before you were modeling with Debbie?
I was already modeling.
So then that happened, and how did you cope with that whole shutdown?
Well, I just try to keep positive. Do a lot of, I guess, a lot of YouTube. Look,
What did you watch?
listen to motivational speakers and do
Nice.
yoga and work out. Can't go to the gym, but a lot of what I did during pandemic was just self-reflection. And so this is a bad time, but you can't make your household or yourself feel sad or bring it down. You have to the world might be a bad place, but here and here, make it a good place.
I like that.
Because if your mind and your heart, your body and the mind connection are not positive or good, it's not a good place for anyone around you, let alone yourself.
So, using your mind and your heart, what are you hoping to achieve in modeling? Do you have any certain goals that you're trying to reach?
Yeah, I want to keep doing this for as long as I can, or as long as I'm afforded to do this. And right now, I feel really blessed to be in this position to do this. And I want to inspire people to try and not feel like they can't do it. Because if they haven't even tried it, then how would they not know? You know?
Yes. Have there been any sort of young women who have, collaborated with you, or they've come up to you and given you thanks for helping them in any way?
Yes, I've collaborated with a few girls, even a young man recently, and I got positive feedback. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, I've never modeled with you before, but it felt like I've known you forever. We just clicked. And the photographer said that after the first 3 or 4 clicks on the camera. He says, okay, you guys don't know each other, do you? I said, no. And then he was like, whoa, it looks like you guys are best friends. And so that was just like early on in the shoot. And so, yeah, that was a really good experience. And I've had some more with other models too. In fact, I might have another collaboration with a girl in Brownsville that I had one with her last spring. And we've become really close on social media, really close. I mean, yeah, the distance is there, but we still make time to communicate, even if it's a DM or say good morning or good night. Mm-hmm. And so what's really funny is that we both have the same zodiac sign. And so I feel like she's my little sister. I call her mi chiquita.
Well, we're in the Valley, 956.
Yeah.
It's obviously not New York. It's not Chicago or LA.
Right.
What are some unique characteristics that you feel are unique to the area and that helps in cultivating that unique modeling culture here in South Texas?
Right. Well, the family orientation, that family feel, la familia is huge here in the Valley. When you see people out, you see groups of people, but they're like a family, and so the culture here is, like I said, very family oriented. People like to hang out and have socials, and there's always someone having some kind of social somewhere at someone's house. And for me, if somebody wants to have a little fashion show in their backyard, they can call Yvette or call Debbie Lou Models, and these women know everybody, and they'll put a good show for you. But also, this past summer, I was asked to do a fashion show for Puro Amor.
What is that?
It's a group, it's an organization that helps people that have maybe issues with anxiety, stress, and other things like that, And so that group the founder of that group put together a fashion show at in the backyard of a thrift store in McAllen. Mm-hmm. And we were promoting, it was in the month of June, actually. It was on June 4th. And of course, June is the LGBT month, right? And so our fashion show was promoting LGBT, and a lot of the models in that fashion show were of that community. And I think I was the only model from Debut Modeling, straight, of course, in that fashion show. And let me tell you, I have a lot of friends now because of that. And then because of me making friends with them, I have made other friends too that are in that community.
Domino effect.
I'm sorry?
Domino effect.
Yes, absolutely. And so that fashion show was at a thrift store owned by Zaida. I forgot her last name. Zaida. It's a little pink house, and it's on Main Street, past Salome on Main. It's a little pink house. And so in the backyard, we had our fashion show. It was on June the 4th. It was a lot of fun.
So,
It was like the community came together in the valley. I mean that we ran out of chairs, and it was a lot of people, and I met a lot of girls. And in fact, I met I think Yvette's friend,
Bleach.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I actually met her at the Let's Stay Creative event. I believe I've seen you
Yes,
in
I've been
a couple
to
of those, right?
A couple of them, yes.
Yeah,
And I've met a lot of people there too.
What do you think of that sort of movement of like community over competition?
I think it's a good thing. I don't think anybody should compete with anyone. I feel that competitions, although competitions are needed for, let's say, winning a medal and working towards a goal, but a competition, to me, I don't think we should compete with each other. I think everybody has their something to bring to the table. Everybody has their talents. Everybody has something positive. And I think if we all come together in a positive way, it just makes everything a better place to be and a better, more fun event. I think the main thing about those types of modeling, what do they call it? Let's Get Creative? With that, it's a group, right?
It's like a networking event for
Yes.
models and photographers and creatives.
Yeah, I think it's important to have that because we get to meet other models that we could collaborate with, and also meet more photographers that maybe we didn't know were out there. And it also gives the photographer opportunity to practice with models. And let's say if it's at night with the lighting, or if it's during the day, or if it's at a park or out of town, it'd be fun too. I know there's been some at the beach or in San Antonio, and I haven't been able to go.
Yeah, they've actually expanded to San Antonio. It's crazy.
There's already been 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, I haven't gone to San Antonio.
I haven't either.
It's too far.
I need a passport.
So is there any advice that you want to give to any young lady or young man out there that might be considering modeling?
Yes. Find a style. When you want to go into modeling, don't try to be somebody else, or try to be true to yourself. Because when you find your own style and find a look that you like, or that you're becoming known for, you're going to be a lot happier than trying to look like someone else or something you're not. Try to be authentic, try to be real, and have fun.
Is there anything you want to...
I just want to say thank you, Cynthia. I really appreciate you doing this podcast with us and
You're
letting
welcome.
us in your your frame of mind is so positive, and you're so beautiful.
Thank you.
You're such an inspiration to all women models, and I just am so happy and honored and blessed to have the opportunity to work with you. And I just love everything that you do, and how you empower young girls. And to me, that's just like the whole reason I do what I do, is just to empower women. And I think it's great what you're doing, and I really applaud you for that. And
Thank you.
Good job. Kudos.
Thank you.
You're
Well,
amazing.
Thank you so much.
You're amazing.
I've never been on a podcast before, so this is my first time. So
How does it feel?
different?
And
It makes me really think.
and also the thing that's unique about this podcast is that we're putting the focus on the guest, and we're not showing us. I feel like when it comes to a podcast, we're trying to make it more about the guest and not so much about us, because we want to put that spotlight on people like yourself, people who have a story, who are pursuing their passion.
Make a difference, yeah.
Yeah, people who are more about love than hate.
Living their passion, yeah.
Right.
So thank you, Cynthia, for being
Thank
here.
you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be here with y'all, both of you today, and I hope I can help someone out there that maybe is thinking about it, and just don't think about it too much. Just go out there and do it. I did.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Come to Backdoor Modern Vintage.
Backdoor Modern Vintage with Yvette Obulis. She's my super stylist.
Woo!